G'day. This review of Zastava Arms rifles was brought about because when I went looking for information about these rifles, when I was first looking at purchasing them, I found little to no information from end users sharing their experiences, positive or negative. And I thought, given that I've had a bit of experience with not just one caliber but two calibers, it was probably a good chance for me to get out there and share the knowledge and hopefully sort of get people to start to look at these guns a little more seriously here in Australia. Now, a good friend of mine who's had a lot of hunting experience, a lot of rifleman experience from a young age, put me on to a review in Guns and Game magazine on the M70 rifle up here. It was a larger caliber than the one I've got here that they reviewed, but obviously they're much the same. Now, the reviewer's name is, I believe it's Briel Jackson. I hope I haven't butchered his name. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, but it was a pretty good review, I've got to say. Now, things in the review that I particularly liked was the fact that, I should probably preface this with saying that I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to a lot of things, and when it comes to rifles, I much prefer the blued steel. Blued steel with timber stocks. So I know there's a pretty healthy argument towards synthetic and stainless for all-weather hunting and a number of other reasons, but they just do not appeal to me. I prefer the more natural and old-school look. And I also believe that the construction of a well-made rifle in a blued timber setup is much better. So that's my personal opinion. But something I've noticed with rifles these days is they really just don't make them like they used to. And if you're looking for a new rifle at an affordable price that has the sort of features of the older style, the way that used to be made, it's very difficult to find that. I'm not denying that there's some good rifles out there, but I was particularly looking to spend $1,000 or less on these guns. Number one, because I'm probably not going to use these as often as I do with my shotgun, being that I'm more of a sporting clay target shooting style of shooter, and I don't have access to a lot of land to go hunting, but naturally I wanted a good sort of hunting rifle set up so that I could get out there. So I didn't want to spend a lot, but when I was looking at the guns that were around that $1,000 mark or under $1,000, there was a lot of things that sort of annoyed me about it, and that was, number one, the amount of plastic that's being used. These particular rifles, in the review that I read before I got a chance to get in there and have a look, the most appealing thing was the fact that there's no plastic on these whatsoever, excluding, I suppose, the plates on the stock, or the rubber shoulder guard, shoulder bump, basically. But all the functioning parts, movable parts in the rifles themselves are all metal. That even goes down to the M70 I've got up here. This is a 243 caliber. It's got an internal magazine, holds 4 rounds. The floor plate is all blued steel. There's no plastic whatsoever. Trigger guards are both full steel, no plastic. The 22, which has got a 5-round magazine. It's all metal construction. It comes with 2 of these as well, so they don't cheap out on anything. There's no plastic. There might be some positives to synthetic trigger guards and things like that, but I mean, in my eyes, it's just not for me. So even the little button to get the magazine out on both rifles, the floor plate eject button and the magazine eject button, all metal, full metal everywhere, basically. Some of the other features, I guess, too, they've got really good quality open sights, hooded front sights on both, so very nice open sights, some nice checkering. They're both walnut. probably not the highest grade walnut. You're not getting the best patterns in them. You can see in my 243, it's a fairly blank sort of piece of wood. Not a huge amount of pattern in the wood grain. Not a lot of variance in the colour, but again, the price that you pay for these rifles, the fact that it's a walnut stock, is good enough. The 22 I was pretty lucky actually. Got some nice patterns in the timber, in the grain, and it's a sort of a nice amber and sort of golden colour, which is nice. So it's sort of, as I said, a bit hit and miss, but it's not the highest grade Turkish walnut or anything like that. But price wise, I think they're pretty good, all metal, and as I said, nice walnut. The M70 in the 243 caliber, but actually in most of the calibers in that model, are around $600 to $700, depending on where you get them from. I paid $598 for mine. It was one that my local gun store took to an open day or a convention or something like that, and they bought a few of them for it to try and sell on the day, and then obviously they had some cheap stock back at the store after the convention. I just was lucky enough to get the last one. So $598, pretty good price. I did have to add bases, rings and scope onto that. But for the rifle that it is, at that price, I think it's pretty good. The 22, I actually got it as a package. It comes standard as this package as well. So what it came with was 2 of the 5-round magazines, rings, bases, and the 3 to 9 by 40 Burris rimfire scope. So that whole package, $399. It's pretty good price. So I mean, for this package here and the gun over here, I'm looking at $1,000 for the 2 rifles. Throw on a scope, a couple of good leather slings. Maybe I'm in at $1,500. But for what they are, I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, accuracy wise, I don't have any paper for the 22, but I did take it out on a hunting trip just recently with a good mate of mine, and we were just shooting off of the bonnet of the car, and I had to actually dial the scope in. It was the first time I'd taken it out, and dialed it in fairly quickly, and I was pulling in pretty good groups. Admittedly, I was only about 50 yards with that one, and I'm supposed to be out at the 100, but at 50 yards I was pulling a pretty tight group. It was all within an inch. This, you can see I've got 2 groups here. These are obviously at 100. This is the 243. Shooting the same ammo. This is factory rounds, Norma 100 grain factory loaded ammo. This group's not too bad. It's sort of within that sort of bit of 1.5 inches, but this group pretty good. 5 shots there, nice and tight. So accuracy wise, they shoot really, really well. My buddy, who I said put me onto these in the first place, has done a lot of shooting, as I mentioned, and he was pretty impressed with it as well. So pretty good shots. I have started to reload my own ammo for this using the Norma cases, and I've decided actually, and I've been getting much better results than what we saw over there with the other 100 grain rounds, using Nosler 80 grain ballistic tips. Really, really nice projectile, and I've just been getting the best results out of it. I think I've got one over here actually. Yeah, here we go. This is actually 10 shots. I was having a bit of a plug at this with my brother, just having a bit of a muck around. That's 10 shots, nice and tight. Just excellent results, really. So I've had a chance to blood this rifle. Nice clean shot. Again, the accuracy is very good. Now, they're not floated. You can't run, as I think the Americans call it, a dollar bill check, where you put the bill in here to see how far back it slides. it's not fancy like that. You could probably take it apart and get it done. Bed the stock and all of that. I was tempted to do all of that just from sort of learning more and more about it, but I sort of think, well, if I'm getting that sort of accuracy as is, there's going to be no point. So factory, as it comes, getting that sort of accuracy, I'm not going to muck around with it. Now, to give you, I guess, a bit of the info on it, Zastava arms, they're made in Serbia. This is a 98 Mauser commercial action. The overall length is, I think it's about 45 inches on the M70. Barrel length, I think, is about 600 mil, something like that. Weighs about 4 kilos with the scope on. Something else actually I should mention, comes with the sling mounts. Both of them did. Good, and again, all metal, nice sling mounts. As I said, the 22 came with 2 magazines, the walnut, as I mentioned. Now, all of the metal parts, I should also state, other than the bolt, of course. The bolt handle and everything is as well, but basically all of the metal is blued, so trigger guards, magazines, floor plates, the whole lot. The sights are adjustable, the open island rear sight. The safety is a 2-position RHS safety. Beretta are the distributors. And one other thing we got here, the trigger. The trigger's fully adjustable. Now, I haven't taken it out to do any adjustments because it's shooting pretty good as it is. It's got a textured trigger on the M70. The 22 is a smooth trigger. Okay. The checkerine's all done by hand as well. You can see all the imperfections. It's not a laser checkering, so it's just as is by hand. But all in all, pretty good rifles, I think. So, look, hopefully I've been helpful. Haven't rambled on too much. But, I've been really happy with them, and they tick all the boxes. And the fact that they're all metal, good timber, solid construction, I can see myself passing these guns down to my children, and then my children passing them to my grandchildren, and hopefully lasting a very, very long time. Not bad for an agricultural style gun.